This is Lacy Robertson, the hardest working woman in mortgage and real estate nationwide, and I'm bringing you this week's report of California companies that will be experiencing a mass layoff, where we received their notice between January 4th and January 10th. So again, these are California companies that will be experiencing, a massive layoff where we received their notice between January 4th and January 10th. Now, if you're been following me for any length of time, you know why it is so dear to me to share this information, but bear with me if you are new. This is your first time stumbling up on my video. I want to tell you briefly, it was many, many years ago. I was working for actually a mortgage company. I was purchasing a piece of property and I had signed loan documents. And hours later, I go back to work and I find out that myself and 399 other people were losing their jobs that day. I mean, that day was my last day. I was being asked, along with 399 others, to go to your desk, pack up all your personal belongings, and thank you for your services, but they are no longer needed anymore. You can only imagine what that did to me. Like, I'm in escrow. I had signed loan documents. My loan was due to sign in the morning, and I had to immediately contact my mortgage broker and my realtor at the time and say, look, you cannot fund this loan. I don't have a job. Now, thankfully, I was able to unravel that transaction, and it canceled as a result of me not having a job. How unfortunate for the seller, right? Because the seller was excited. They were getting ready to get proceeds from the sale of their piece of property. I was excited because I was going to get the asset, but unfortunately, it didn't pan out that way. Now, the reason why I like to share this information is twofold. Number one, what would you do differently if you thought there was a possibility that you might get laid off? Right? Would you not purchase a piece of property because you're like, wait a minute, I might be on the chopping block? Or would you not buy that new car or go on that shopping spree? Or maybe you would start sending out your resume, right? Kind of putting some fillers out there. Let me see where I might go versus waiting until you get laid off and everybody's looking for the same type of job in your industry. So it's twofold. One, if I can help prevent you from making maybe a big purchase or splurging in an area that you otherwise wouldn't, I've done my job, that one piece of job, right? Because unfortunately, when I was purchasing a piece of property, like, I didn't get my down payment back. I had spent money on home inspections, termite inspections. Like, I don't get that back. But had I known that there was a possibility that I would be on the chopping block, I may have, said, wait a minute, let me see if I'm safe first. The second thing is, I want you to know that you don't have to lose your house just because you lost your job. There are options available for you. There's temporary options like a forbearance plan or a repayment plan, but then there's more permanent solutions, maybe a refinance, maybe a loan modification. So I want you to know you don't have to lose your house just because you lost your job or you're facing a financial hardship due to a death, a divorce, an illness, or injury. It doesn't matter. If you've experienced a significant loss of income to your household, you're a great candidate for some permanent solutions. So let me go ahead. I'm going to give you, again, the California companies that will be experiencing a massive layoff, where we receive their notice between January 4th and January 10th. But I want you to stay tuned, right? Because I'm going to give you some of those options. I'm going to share a success story from one of my clients that I was able to help. It was amazing. God did his thing with me concerning this client. And if you're like, look, Lacy, I don't need to hear your list. I've already been laid off, or I've already experienced a loss of income. I know I need your help. You can visit me at modifymenow.com. Or better yet, it's always good in situations like this. just give me a call. My number is 714-914-7254. And then all my information will be in the description. Okay, so let's get started. Now I'm going to give you the date that the company is laying off, the name of the company, obviously, how many they're laying off, and the address. Now I'm going to give this in alphabetical order on the company names in alphabetical order. Okay, so it's not going to be in date order. It's going to be in alphabetical order for the company. So let's get started, and then stay tuned because I'm going to give you some amazing news if you've experienced a loss of household income. Again, I remind you how you can get in contact with me and give you an example of what I can do for you. Okay, so here we go. We have, this list is very, rather short. We have about 11 companies. We have 11 companies, and that's great. I'm glad it's not long. Not because of that, but that's pretty good. Hope prayerfully that, not so many people are affected, but there's quite a few people at these companies. So prayerfully, they will get the information and get the help that they need concerning their financial situation. So here we go. January 29th, Block Inc. is laying off 51 people at 760 Market Street in San Francisco. On January 26th, Dairy Farmers of America, Inc. is laying off 68 people at 4375 North Ventura Avenue in Ventura. We have January 19th, Herbalife International of America, Inc. is laying off 12 people at 800 West Olympic Boulevard in Los Angeles. We have that same date, January 19th, Herbalife International of America, Inc. is laying off 34 people at 950 West 190th Street in Torrance. And then you have January 19th, Herbalife International of America is laying off 63 people at 990 West 190th Street in Torrance. January 29th, HMI is laying off 16 people at 6611-B Preston Avenue in Livermore. We have January 16th, Quality Fabrication, Inc. is laying off 55 people at 9631 Irondale Avenue in Chatsworth. January 13th, Sunrun, Inc. is laying off 15 people at 1225 Park Center Drive in Vista. January 13th, Sunrun, Inc. is laying off 10 people at 1330 30th Street, Suite G in San Diego. Then you have January 13th, Sunrun, Inc. is laying off 37 people at 8090 Arjohn's Drive in San Diego. And last but not least, January 30th, Vans HQ is laying off 42 people at 1588 South Coast Drive in Costa Mesa. So again, those are California companies that will be experiencing a massive layoff where we receive their notice between January 4th and January 10th. Now, I told you there are options available. You don't have to lose your house just because you lost your job due to a death, divorce, illness, injury, or layoff. There are temporary options like a forbearance plan or repayment plan, but there's more permanent options like maybe you'll refinance before you're about to get laid off, or you can get a loan modification. So I want to go ahead and share with you what I was able to help my clients with. Just one moment here. I'm going to share my screen. Just kind of show you some options that are out there. This particular client, had city mortgage. So relevant, but they did have city mortgage, okay? And on the right-hand side, I'm going to highlight their previous mortgage, okay? Their previous mortgage. This was an amazing success story. I'm telling you, God is amazing. He does amazing things through me on behalf of my clients. It don't get no better than this, I tell you. So this client, literally, their previous mortgage payment was $4,311. That included principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, okay? Their interest rate on their mortgage was 9.5%. And if you notice, their previous balance was $676,000. That was their principal balance at the time. Okay, at the time when they hired me, they were definitely behind. This particular client, I remember they went through a divorce. They had a loss of household income due to a divorce and being injured. So even their monthly household income suffered tremendously, right? And so I was able to come in and look at this. I'm gonna highlight their modified payment. Their modified mortgage payment was $1,594.81. That included taxes and insurance. Do you see that? Their interest rate went to 3%, and their new principal balance was significantly reduced. Okay, I was able to get the bank to forgive them of, look, I'm going to highlight here, over $385,000 plus late fees. You see that? I got City Mortgage to forgive them of over $385,000. I don't know if you heard that. Let me say that one more time. I got City Mortgage to forgive them of over $385,000. That's how I was able to get one of the reasons why I was able to get their mortgage payment down from here, $44,311.99 to $1,594.81. Between that huge amount of principal forgiveness and the interest rate going from 9.5%, right here highlighted, to 3%, they were able to keep their home. Isn't that amazing? So what would you be able to sleep a little bit better knowing, okay, I know I lost my job, or I know I had a loss of income, but if I'm able to somehow get my mortgage payment lowered so I can stay in my home, so I don't have to worry about losing my house just because I had a loss of household income, I think you could sleep a little bit better. So remember, it's twofold. I want to share this information because knowledge is power, right? And you can move differently when you know that you have options available. So for all your mortgage and real estate needs, I want you to visit me at modifymenow.com, but you can totally skip the website. I urge you to call me at 714-914-7254. Again, that's 714-914-7254. I'm Lacy Robertson, the hardest working woman in mortgage and real estate nationwide. I look forward to working with you and for you. And until then, I want you to have a blessed day.